Bionic Commando is the 3D follow-up to the original Capcom classic on the NES, also known as just Bionic Commando. The original Bionic Commando was generally well regarded and had the standout feature of utilizing a grappling hook as opposed to just regular jumping. Well, here we are, just over 2 decades later, and I'd still consider the grappling hook to be a damn good idea. I still remember first using it in a 3D world back when Quake 2 hacks were all the rage. There's nothing better than Spider-Manning yourself across a room and blowing the brains out of whatever enemies dare to step up. Bionic Commando on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 does not disappoint. Now, this latest Bionic Commando got a lot of 5s and 6s all across the board. It really made me wonder, why is that? This game really does feel like a Spider-Man clone in some industrialized vision of the future. What the hell is not to like about that? What will really draw the line in the sand is the controls. The controls are not bad at all. However, there's a curve to overcome. There's a curve to overcome just to use them properly so that you don't fling yourself in some sort of pop fly fashion rather than home run, and then there's the curve that you must overcome in order to make it all feel like second nature. Bionic Commando takes some serious skill to play properly and not accidentally off yourself when trying to play flashy every 5 minutes. It's time worth the investment though, as to truly play this game feels like a dream. It brings back memories of jetpacking around in Gun Valkyrie on the first Xbox, as well as some hints of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater when you first learn how to skate around properly without bailing every 20 seconds. The level designs are also pretty damn cool. As mentioned, a lot of it is industrialized warehouses, sometimes inside, sometimes outside, as well as some various nature locations. If a sequel is ever to be miraculously produced, there's still a lot of new fresh ground to cover, but as for a first outing in this fashion, I have no problems. Is Bionic Commando a gunplay video game? It's really kind of hard to figure this one out, and perhaps this confusion may lead to why some other people dislike this. On one hand, I found myself wondering where the ultra-powered, crazy-ass, non-existent weapons were hiding, as well as why no cover system was programmed into the game, but then I always remembered that Bionic Commando is still about the grappling hook. You're supposed to swing your ass overhead, zip by the enemies, perhaps pop a few off, sling behind a rock, and then launch that car next to you and flatten 5 more baddies. If this were just another stop-and-pop third-person shooting game, what would even be the point? Not that the weaponry doesn't play a large part in the game, because I still found myself all around complexes taking out helicopters and flying mini mechs and so on. Simply put, the weapon system is still not a problem. What could be improved? The load times between deaths were kind of a buzzkill at times, especially as the game encourages you to experiment with your slinging, but it's easy to accidentally screw yourself over. This makes conquering the learning curve a little more annoying than it should be. The world should also be slightly more open. I have nothing against linearity, not everything needs to be a sandbox, but I really didn't like accidentally climbing a building too high and then dying because of lame toxic gas, or whatever the hell that stuff was. I suppose I should mention the story as well, which was not that great. This really isn't a game where you want to play for the story though, and it isn't shoved in your face too much, and really it is kind of interesting to find out what the final twist may be, but it's still not captivating in any sense of the word. I didn't find myself caring that much. Finally, the online gameplay is a success. I truly had my ass handed to me my first time at bat in the random death matches, as these guys on there had conquered the gameplay far more than I could have ever imagined even after finishing the single player, but there is still a lot of promise. Really, you just do not get grappling hook and gunning gameplay like this too often, so it is a very fresh experience. Is Bionic Commando a love it or hate it kind of game? Perhaps. This generation's Prince of Persia outing made a real push towards a user-friendly experience that holds your hand, quite literally, with everything. Bionic Commando heads in the opposite direction, where creativity is key in conquering the various scenarios and challenges in front of you. Personally, I enjoy this kind of gameplay a whole lot more. Bionic Commando for the Xbox 360 receives a 9 out of 10.